You're listening to the Real Estate Radio Hour, the show that brings you unfiltered stories and insight from the Twin Cities real estate world with your hosts, Chris Rooney, broker at RE/MAX Preferred, and Andy Presky, leader of the Preferred Home Team at RE/MAX Advantage Plus.
Got my cough drop in. I'm ready.
Oh, that's loud.
Oh.
All I did is went to Mexico and got a new mug. Isn't that perfect?
Tell us about it.
Tell us about what?
The trip.
Coffee. It's really warm.
The
Fun
trip.
color.
The trip. Looks like
the trip
Mexico.
was great. You guys were kind of with me, so it's kind of fun.
I know.
Like I said, the last time we talked about it, that Harry's is fantastic down there. I can't say enough nice things. You can even Yelp them from the States here and see. And it's a whole different experience. It's like, the local steakhouses are fantastic here and they have all their processes and whatever, but you have one waiter and maybe one backup, busboy kind of a thing. In Mexico, this Harry's has like 8 people dedicated to your table. So you get up to go off to the bathroom, they fold your towels, they wipe your area down, they fill up your water. So when you come back, it's all ready. They polish your silverware. I mean, they have people just literally standing. It's unbelievable service.
Andy, that's a bus person. You can't say bus boy anymore.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I really appreciate you bringing me into the modern era here, Chris.
You're welcome.
You're
very welcome.
Andy, the crazy part is those people doing that are probably making maybe $1,000 a month, and they're working 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, and it's.
Well, I heard the minimum wage still in the minimum resort pay is still $28 a day in Mexico. So some of those people are working, and they're getting bussed in from Veracruz or an hour away from Cancun to work. And then you know what? Here's what's funny, guys. Like this guy that we had, Luis, that was by the pool. He was so happy and just excited to be there. And he goes, "Look at my job." He goes, "I get to serve drinks to beautiful people that are happy on vacation." He goes, "What a great job." Now, the landscaper that's wheelbarrowing the crap up the slope, getting the seaweed off the beach, they deserve way more money than that.
Tips.
It's the tips for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but just comparing it to the service, at least from what I've heard about going back on the States from you guys, and you go to the third world and these people are working for a tenth of what the people in the States are working for, and they're doing it with a smile. It really is a shock for sure.
They're close to the water too. I think that makes a difference.
I think it's all part of it. It's all part of that. Well, and if you're used to making, a certain amount of money, you've made your whole career, and then now you're making even a little bit more and a little bit more. And I mean, why wouldn't you be happy, right? It's like just a different scale of numbers. And I mean, it's not like you saw anybody with a hole in their shirt or something. I mean, these guys and gals that are there, they look and act professional. They, you know what I mean? I don't know. I could see they had that. They were enjoying what they were doing. I don't feel like I had anybody working there that was, just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm here again.
Yeah. Were you selling houses from Mexico?
Yeah, I picked up a couple listings when I was gone, which was nice. But I'll tell you, man, I feel sorry for people. Right now, I'm seeing a ton of the potential sellers that are really getting freaked out. They're seeing what's happening in the media. They're concerned about things. They think there's, a housing crash is imminent. They think there's this, that. And so people are kind of pausing, just kind of waiting to have things settle down. And, contrary to that, I would say that right now, it's a great time to sell, no doubt. I mean, I think that you've got equities here that, will be as good, if not better than they are potentially over the next 12 months. It'll be probably flat. You know what I mean? And then it'll start picking up again after that, but it's not going to be huge pickup. They're not talking about like these 20% dramatic increases. So you might have gotten all the gas out of that tank. So it's okay to sell it and reinvest somewhere where you're going to have more gas. And again, or more appreciation, I guess is a better way to say it. So if you've kind of sucked all the appreciation out of this property or rode the wave up, now reinvest into something again that you can ride it up again. And, the right location, the right lot, maybe the right lake, the right floor plans, I think that's, and it can be totally done. It just take a breath, take a look, hire the right people and get it done.
Do you also think people looking at this world are also saying, you know what, I'm just going to enjoy something because all the outside noise is horrible. And I just want to enjoy something and get exactly what I want and take it on, kind of like they did. I mean, really, like they did during COVID.
Right. Well, let's say you're 65 years old, okay? And you have worked your whole career, your whole life, and now you're 65, and your dream has always been to wake up and throw a line off the dock or go fishing every morning. And you decide, hey, I'm going to hold off. I'm not going to make my move now. I'm going to wait another 4 or 5 years. And now you're 70, and then you're 75, and then you're 80. And all of a sudden you just gave up your whole retirement years, your golden years of being retired. I think what I would do differently is maybe adjust the plan so that it is affordable, so that you're not in harm's way. We make a plan that's strategic. And then, if you have to borrow money, I'm telling you, every indication we're seeing right now is showing that rates will be more affordable potentially in the near future. So even if you had to secure a higher rate of financing today and but you can afford it, so it's not a problem. And then down the road, all of a sudden that gets softer for you, you refinance. And now you got a couple extra $100 a month to play with to buy more fishing lures. Mm-hmm. And because remember, you're not getting any younger. And sometimes that train's still chugging down the tracks towards the end of your life. And it's not going to stop for you just because the economy's bad. So anyway.
Yeah, I think too that the people that haven't embraced what you're just talking about are the ones that are out there buying. But there's a lot of them that, hey, I'm going to double my output if I go move. I'm at 6%. I'll get 6. I'm at 3. That's a big step for a lot of people and thus low inventory. And you know what? Thank God that's happening because that's keeping our real estate market good.
Well, Chris, the other thing is not to talk reality here or give somebody a slap across the face, but so if you're 65 years old and you're running a lake property, right? How many years are you going to actually be able to stay there? So most people in their heads think, well, if I live here for 30 more years, I don't know if I'll be able to afford the taxes. Well, when you're 90 years old, do you really want to be still living on the lake and raking the beach and you at that point might say, you know what, I'm doing the senior living thing. I'll visit the park on the lake when I want to go to the lake, or whatever. Maybe because everybody's demeanor and whole disposition changes as you age. But when you're your young, spry, retired years, you want to be doing the activities you want to do. That's when you travel. That's when you do all the fun stuff. So I just feel like there's a lot of baby boomers sitting on the sidelines too, just like waiting for something that may not ever happen. And I don't know how, but I would love to help them walk through that journey because man, live your life and let's get you moving.
Exactly. Go to Mexico in the middle of the busiest real estate market ever. I mean, why wouldn't you?
You know what?
You enjoy
I'm
yourself.
coming through that screen after you, boy.
Oh, that's a good thing. That's smart. That's what
Yeah.
you should be doing.
Well, yeah, I mean, you gotta play. If you're playing hard, you gotta, play or play hard.
I should be in Brazil, for gosh sakes.
I know.
I mean,
Why are we not doing a Brazil episode, Nick?
we might have to go out there, Andy.
You know we'd get arrested within minutes or kidnapped, but that's okay.
I'll keep you safe. I've been in the favelas recently, so I got the connections.
Oh, do you?
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah, we'd
I'm a
have to
good
be locked
gringo.
up in something.
What's a favela? Favela.
It's when you think of Brazil, the housing, that's what the favela is. Everything is stacked on top of each other, like super packed. And that's what a favela is. But only, I think, 20 or 30% of the population lives in them, maybe more.
Really? Which we might call like a slum area. Is that what we're saying?
But like stacked on top of each other. Yeah, it's pretty wicked.
Slum on top of slum.
Well, you remember,
but-
Nick, you were talking like Italy, where you'd have the proprietor on the top level and grandma and grandpa and like the kids, and then on the main floor they'd have a store, and I love that concept.
No, that was really nice. I like that in Italy. Everyone, like the old grandma would cook some food and then send it out the window and put it down on a rope, and then they would eat, and it's pretty cool. But the favela is surprising. Like they actually have some really nice things in the favela. I was seeing like Mini Coopers and really nice bikes, and I guess inside too, like a couple of them are like luxurious looking. And then of course, like in Rio, where I was recently, it's like $1 million views, some of the most beautiful views in the world. So I'm like, I can see why some people, stay here, and it's safe. In the favela is safe because they all know each other. It's a community. They just go outside the favela and take from other people and bring it back.
What about creating a concept like that, Andy, around here? I mean, think about that. Getting that multi-generational and actually putting them all kind of together, because
I think we talked about this before. It's called Rooneyville.
well, but this is the add-on to Rooneyville.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it's an add-on. Because what I didn't think about, which I just thought about now, was the fact that I think some of the older people, rather than just, hey, I got to do the cooking and I've got to watch the little kids. If you put them around other people their age, I mean, they have a lot of things to do as well. And so now you've just made it even better, and taken the burden off maybe some of the younger people, whether it's their kid or their grandchildren as well, that they don't feel like they have to be there the whole time with them.
Chris, weren't you and I together when we saw that guy from the Twin Cities that wrote that book called The Blue Zone?
I can't remember.
Yeah, and we're talking about all the people that are centurion, 100-year plus living, longest living people on Earth, and there's communities around the world that have this. And so, what was interesting amongst all these communities, Chris, was that the let's call them the elderly, the older elders of the group, they always had a job. There wasn't, you're not like, I'm like in the US, I think it was 10 of the top 20 did not have a transferable or a word that would translate to retired. And so, or retirement. And so they wouldn't do their day job anymore. Now grandma took, care of the grandkids. Or like the younger generation's off working all day. They come home, mom has dinner ready for the whole family. And there's a sense of community. And it was a really wonderful concept. If ever gets kind of retired, go off and retire now. And I don't know, but a lot of people are lonely when they retire, and it's like, you get to where anymore, you don't have a sense of purpose, and people get kind of depressed. And it's like, how cool would it be to have kind of your own little, network that you're plugged into, and you're important to that network, and you every day contribute to that network. I think it'd be great.
Exactly. I think that's the thing. I mean, we're finding that right now with my mom being it's over 55 living, but she's maybe not participating as much in there. And if she didn't have us coming over there and talking and bringing her and doing stuff, I mean, just sit there all day, and that's just I think that's just sad because I've seen that a lot walking around there, where people, won't visit as much. They're busy everyday life. So yeah, I think that could be really neat.
You got to make it easy. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a lot easier if you come home and mom's there than driving across town in rush hour to go see her. So you're right. And it's a, I don't know. We're kind of going off the topic of real estate, but I think it's important to make a plan like that. Cause Chris, you and I are going to be living together when we're old. It'll be the odd couple and it'll be two grumpy old men in an apartment somewhere.
It will be like, we'll be on the same screen and we'll be like, okay, your turn. You talk.
Yeah. And the funny part will be that the cameras won't even be on, but we'll be so delusional that we'll think they're on.
They'll have AI. They'll have us when we're young. Okay, as of May 1st, if you have a 680 plus credit score with 15 to 20% down, you will see a higher mortgage rate to subsidize higher risk buyers. We've all been hearing about it. I haven't. Oh boy, we got some.
Can I start the conversation with what a bunch of idiots?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
We didn't do this before, did we, Andy? Did we ever hear?
We've never. Hey, let's put all of our eggs into the low end basket where people have proven that they don't want to pay their mortgages and invest into that part of the market and give them a chance. They've already given a chance. It's kind of like I'm sorry. That's why you can rebuild your credit. But once you've rebuilt your credit, you usually have earned it, and then you will keep it. And most people don't give it away again, so they take good care of their credit. Now, I don't know why this is being done. I think the discount should be given to the 800 credit score people, like they should be, but they just want to lend more money. So this is their attempt at lending more quantity of money, and so they have to pay for these guys over here, kind of like taxes or whatever else, right?
Yeah. And it sounds like it's kind of on the backside, but you'll end up, paying for it in the rate because the lenders have to price it in the rate to be able to get paid. So either one or two things will happen. They'll price it higher like that. They'll figure out other programs to be able to combat it, or the loan officers are just going to eat it. That's what'll happen. It's going to be one of the two.
So you know what I'm saying, Chris? Go back to hard money lenders. Private investors right now, guys, as rates are ridiculously high, and they're these crazy private money out there. There are billions of dollars out there that could be lent in this marketplace, and the right people will get great rates. So if the banks and the feds want to play games, which it's not getting ready to really have fun with.
I think Andy too. That
you're just impressed.
It's legitimate now. To be able to lend at these rates, straight up, it's not even a hard money lender anymore. It becomes a person that, hey, I'm going to make 6 to 7% on my money. Why wouldn't I want to do that? A lot of people would grab that. So where it was before,
sell your existing house and move.
Yeah. Mr. Prasky's going in and out. I don't know. You do look good every time you're
going in and out.
Well, I think it's Nick. Who is it? Who's the problem?
Andy.
Andy's again.
Shut it. You shut it. I'll come to Brazil and zip it. All right, hold on. Maybe somebody disconnected me. Hang on.
No worries. Hey, we'll play a commercial here and get into some fun stuff. Social media reacts.
Andy. Use your home phone and dial in right now and see if you can get that internet signal. See,
it's brought to you by Chris Rooney Home Experts. Here we go. Get it fixed, Danny. We'll be good.
I was just 1 year old when my family started in real estate, where both my parents were agents. They also dabbled in investing in real estate, rentals, flips, and construction. After college, I went right into getting my license in July of 1990. As a 23-year-old agent in an industry that looks nothing like today, I had to know more for my clients to choose me. There wasn't Zillow or social media to tell them how good I was. I had to win them over with knowledge. With knowledge comes confidence, and with confidence comes results. I found
He's back.
Just so you guys know, I'm connected.
Oh, good.
I'm plugged into an Ethernet.
Oh boy, I have an 850 credit score. Best I can do is higher mortgage payments. Yeah, and that's the truth. That plays right off of what we were just talking about.
Well, and I just was at a lender deal yesterday where they were talking about this, and they were saying that they're trying to remove some of the fees to keep the mortgage payments affordable for people with lower credit scores. And I go, but they haven't earned it. The funny is the lenders are going, yep, here we go again.
Yep.
Weird. All of a sudden we'll have a housing crisis in 2 years because of this. And it's like, I just can't believe how silly they are.
It's called votes. Anyways, trying to pretend like they are helping people when they're never helping. No one's helping people. Okay, what do we got here? I love your dancing videos. Definitely buy a house from you when I turn 18. It's free business. Video is the best way to engage clients. This is why your dad and I got divorced. There's
okay. You get it's like a cope for like the real estate agent, the older person starting to do the TikToks and dancing around, and it's a funny meme. So do you see the guy's face? So he's acting like he's kind of happy on the outside, but deep inside he's like, "What am I doing?"
Frustrated. Yeah, yeah. It just reminds me of I was at dueling pianos. Have you ever been to one, Andy?
Yeah,
they're fantastic. I mean, they're hilarious. And I was at one, and I just watching. I mean, sorry, but all these middle-aged women dancing and trying to act like they're 18 years old. And I was Andy. I was stone sober, and I was just watching. And I'm just like, what is going on? I mean, come on. So that's maybe part of that meme. It's what reminded me of.
Well, then you and I went to that
New
York. Wasn't there one in that New York we went to when we were in Vegas?
Did we do it
years ago?
Did we do a dueling piano?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. See, Vegas would be vague for me. So, not you.
Hey, but let's give some advice though, because obviously that is a great way to find new customers. I mean, some of these pages that post these memes or the dances are making, a ton of money. How can you do it with some integrity and not get depressed about it?
I think you got to be who you are. I mean, if you are who you are and you do that, there's nothing wrong with that. But I think it's trying to be someone you're not is where it just doesn't. It's not authentic. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't come across good, and it's something that you probably won't keep doing. I think it's funny. I watch it all the time on social media there where you all of a sudden see, okay, this person's trying to do something different. They're doing videos and this is the way they're going with it. And it's more forced than natural. And I think the more natural it is, I don't care if Andy's, dancing around in flip-flops and a tutu, if it's him and that's what he wants to do, it'll work for him.
That is so right on my money.
Yeah.
No, I think I agree with that. I think that there's ways that, I don't think everybody could put out a TV show about their lives because then nobody'd have time to watch anything. You know what I'm saying? So I think there's a little bit of that going on in my brain where I'm like, who cares what a real estate agent does? Now, when somebody's looking to hire a real estate agent, consuming that content might be kind of interesting to see, hey, here's a day in the life of what my realtor does. But I don't know if you need to put out a video every other day, but if you have it on your reel or you have it on your, your YouTube or whatever you have, and might be interesting.
Yeah. I kind of got an example of that. I mean, I think that was a lot like when you and I started in the radio. Mm-hmm. That me alone or you alone probably wouldn't have worked that great, but we kind of we think alike, but we also think really different. And I think bringing those two together, I mean,
what do you think the pinnacle? What do you think the pinnacle conversation was for you and I on radio that everybody looks back to and laughs at?
The pinnacle? I don't know.
Oh, you do too.
Oh,
you were basically really selling hard, like a $3 million listing you had.
Yeah. You go ahead and yes, I do know that.
Chris was.
And by the way, my client was listening on the radio.
The client's listening. He's on there doing the old. And then on the lakeshore, there's 300 feet of lakeshore and sandy bottom beaches and whatever. And he goes, so that's all available right now for 2.9 whatever million. And I go, God, that's a lot of money for a house with wheels on it. And oh my God, Dave Vaughn, the narrator of the show, almost fell over. It was funny. You had to be there, but it was.
Well, the other part is we never really talked much about listings. There was one that just kind of came up, and you threw that out there, basically referring to my listings as like a trailer court. That's where my stuff would be sold in. So
$3 million trailer court.
Yeah, exactly.
And the only comment I have, because I've been doing content for a while, is a lot of the times you suck at the start, or it doesn't look natural, but then you find your natural ability as it goes on. So what do you say about that?
Absolutely. Gosh, you're a better person than most people if you keep going and try to find your way. I mean, really, I think it's great. I chuckle a lot at different ones that people put out there, but I also it's kind of like you can't give two messages either. It's like, oh, I'm this happy, great person, and then you're on the next thing is please pray for me. I broke a nail, or I stubbed my toe, or what? I mean, so you got to kind of stick to the theme. So I'm gonna get in trouble this time. This is not good. Okay, there's no way they'll accept this offer or even counter. I'll submit it. But if you really want this house, I suggest you change your offer. And my clients. Okay, Nick, you got to explain again to us. I mean, we're a little slow. You're on mute.
It says I can go lower. Yeah, the clients are saying that.
Oh, wow. You guys are quick. I'll tell you, I wonder what happened to me. I used to be able to get this stuff.
Yeah, you did.
I'm desensitized.
It's so cool when you notice you've been neutered and you no longer have opinions on things, and you're like, I'll just sit here and absorb this content. No, here's the thing. Content to me has to be visually stimulating or funny to me, or like something I'm, like trying to research, or I don't care. I won't watch it. I flick through all the time. I'm the king of going to Instagram, and on the bottom of Instagram, Chris, where they have that little like magnifying glass, and you can click it and it'll show like 30 different like things at one time. That's how my brain is. So I flick through pages and I'll say, oh, that's a cool cabin, or that's a cool boat, or a 3-wheeler, or something cool that I like. And I'll click on it for a second, look at it. And if I like it, I follow it. And if I don't, I keep moving. And, so my brain, I don't give myself the capacity to say, hey, I'm going to sit down for 3 hours and be entertained by this, stuff.
I'm going to add a little something to that last meme. I think it comes in with, why don't you show it one more time, Nick?
There should be a limbo stick for sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you get this situation and you're a realtor with your client, you obviously haven't done your job ahead of time, because if they trust you and believe in you and know what you're talking about, they're going to kind of go with you versus try to go against you. Mm-hmm. And so you kind of got to look at yourself and say, okay, hold on a minute. I must have not informed them enough for them to be able to know this. And don't blame your client. That's on you. You got to be able to get that client to the point that they're going to be successful and they believe and trust in you. Just an explanation on that. I mean, obviously, real estate is a commission business, and maybe the dollar amount probably seems high, but once everyone gets their hands in on it, it kind of gets dissipates pretty fast. And so I think that is, someone's counting on, oh my gosh, I'm getting 3% of $1 million, I'm getting 30,000, and when they get 8,000, it's kind of it hits hard.
Some of these teams, I don't know how they get agents to work for them. I mean, some of these teams that are out there, the real estate teams that generate lots of leads and have lots of whatever for these agents, and they're more of I don't say a timeshare, but they have a part in the role of being an agent. They're not a full agent that does everything. and they're getting paid, 20% of the total commission. So 10 grand comes in commission and they're getting like 2,000 of it. And then on top of that, some of these teams, I don't know if you've seen this, Chris, are going after the consumer and charging like $1,800 admin fees and like $1,200 admin fees on top of it. So it's like, my golly, are they squeezing all the juice out of that customer and agent? But I don't know.
I got this house for 20 grand and turned it into a duplex for $100. Seller called me up and said, hey man, I moved 3 hours out of town. I let my cousin rent out my 4-bedroom house and now she's not paying and she won't leave. Take it off my hands for $20,000 and you handled the mess. Say less, I've never signed a contract so fast in my life. And when we scheduled the walkthrough, we found 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2 kitchens, 2 sets of appliances, 2 furnaces, 2 ACs, and 2 gas and electric meters. All this thing needed to be a duplex was a door. The door ran us about $100 at Menards. We don't shop at Home Depot in the Midwest. And the numbers are nuts. Check this out. We're onto this thing for a measly 25 grand rent ready. It's a monstrous 48% cap rate. We cash flowed this thing for 1 year and then flipped it for 110 for the quick 85 pop.
What about zoning?
Oh, no, Chris. Yeah. That's not good internet content.
That's true. You don't need that.
Talk about the details like that. You just talk about the up.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yep. That was a great deal. That was awesome.
Well, how about the short-term capital gains that all those people get to pay too? What? What do you mean?
Oh, if they're flipping it? No, they're going to hold it for 32 years and then have the renters pay for their place down in Mexico.
If you actually had a 48% cap rate, I mean, come on. You would never sell that thing. You'd be looking for 10 more just like it.
Yeah, paid off in a couple of years would be not too shabby to be able to have stuff like that. But the thing that happened, I mean, I did that. I did all that stuff, and I had quite a few rental properties. And my whole point was that I was going to get them, pay them off, and then that would pay me, money. But after you deal with maybe renters for a long time, you tend to get a little not too friendly. And there's repairs, there's people that don't pay, rent, there's upkeep. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that go into it. So thinking that you've got this place you're getting $2,000 a month for, and when you finally pay it off, you're really not, I mean, you're maybe making $1,000 a month when it all comes true. So it's like everything went in half. And eventually I just said, you know what, forget it. I'm done. I'm getting rid of all of them. And the other thing is for a tax shelter, because I mean, basically, if you die with those, you've depreciated them over time. That depreciation kind of goes in the big pot of things, and it's kind of a, throw over the asset that you have after you pass away. It's a good way in which to be able to do it and to save your family some money, and you're not paying money on all the depreciation that you took. But it was, I mean, you just. And it's not that rentals are not a good thing. If you're handy and you're good with them and you just understand, and don't look at things like that and believe that, every deal is like that. Sometimes, hey, you'll get a great deal like that, and that's fantastic, but they're not all like that. So
no. That's a great way to end it, because it's so true. Once you get into it, every once in a while you come across that deal and, like he said, pounce on it, because it's not often that in a market like tonight, especially where inventory is so tight. And if that seller in that situation would have said, hey, by the way, I'm just going to call a quick little real estate agent before I just sell it to this guy I know and just ask him what it's worth, they would have got a lot more than $20,000 for that place. And so to me, that was a little predatory in a way. I felt that person left money on the table. We used to call that equity stripping. They keep renaming it, but a lot of these flippers, nowadays that say, well, I'm not a licensed real estate agent, so I don't have to have any integrity. I can pay whatever I want, whatever you'll sell it to me for. I don't understand how that's okay though, too, because real estate agents, I have to sit there and go, hey, you're willing to sell it for 20, but it's really worth 80. And so why don't we sell it for 60, and get them more money so they really know what they're doing. But it's okay for a contractor to steal it. So
it's true.
All right, so we had a big little event here in Minnesota, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts on kind of the industry and when they do these events and they give out awards and so forth. So let me pull up this article here. It was a big night. More than 900 filled the room during Minnesota Real Estate Journal's 2023 awards. What are your guys' thoughts on this whole area?
First of all, what does a guy like Chris and I have to do to get invited to something like this? Because we didn't get invited.
We got to sell commercial real estate.
Yeah.
So we don't do that. But yeah, I don't know. I think awards also come with little badges and things you can put on your social media and pictures. And I think it really comes down to money. You know, if you can quantify, you know, your service with something that is tangible and it's legit, you know, it can matter. I mean, it can matter to some people. You know, if you're in, you know, magazines, you know, a lot of the magazines you got to pay to be into those.
But let me throw this wrench in your sprocket for a second. So you win all these awards, right? And you're wonderful and you've got a proven track record. Why does the consumer then go to Zillow and get a brand new agent that, because they click the button, will unlock the door and open the door for them? I think the consumer's been trained to click buttons, not click credibility. And I think it's crap, because if credibility mattered, people would chase the bigger agent or the agent that has the best experience or the best track record with consumer rating. Let the consumers rate the agents like you know, every other industry that's out there, and give them a score, and then say, yeah, this agent scores over 500. That means they're a top-notch agent and, you know, best of their industry just by their scores from the consumer experience. And instead of just, I mean, when you're online, guys, and you're clicking and you say book a showing, you know that I hope you know this, you're going to whoever's willing to pay to show you that house. And usually it's the people that have nothing else going on.
And
not always, not always, but most of the time it is. And the big teams don't send out their experienced agents. They send out the one with the least experience because they want to give them experience.
Yeah. The problem, there's a lot of that. And I think when you're talking about the clicking, you know, there's price points that differ on that. So it's like, as the more sophisticated, maybe more educated, maybe more money that people are spending, it usually ends up that they're doing a lot more research into who's going to be selling and representing them.
But let me ask you a quick question. At first substantial contact, what are you supposed to do?
Talk about agency.
Yeah. Okay. So when you click that button, why does it not talk about agency? Or why is it not a law that says that, by the way, if you're under contract, you cannot show this house with this random agent, but you will be under contract with this agent to show this house?
Well, not really.
Why not? Why don't they have to play by the rules?
I don't know.
I
don't do those internet leads anyways, so I don't know. I don't do those internet lead things.
No, I get it. I'm just saying, like, why is the consumer on a consumer-based website? Why are the watchdogs not protecting the consumer? It's like they give this, like, all these websites that are out there, these free rides to, yeah, go ahead and click here. And then all of a sudden you got 7 lenders calling you. You have 5 real estate agents calling you. And it's like, why does that button not have a warning on it that says, by the way, when you click this as a consumer that's unrepresented, here's what you're going to see. And they don't do that. I don't get it.
And I don't know if my client was being, you know, kind of embellishing here, but he went and he got a loan. He got through his own lender. He went through and got the lender. And he told me that he had 81 phone calls from other lenders once he went for credit. 81 phone calls.
Well, they can see that you soft pull your credit. When you soft pull your credit, that's public knowledge.
Yeah. But that's, I mean, can you imagine that?
Some of our software devices that we have that are available, like through Remax, they use that machine learning, and it literally will take where it kind of just watches, and then if somebody pulls their credit for a refi or, you know what, a life-changing event, it'll identify that. It doesn't tell you why they're being identified, because that's kind of against the privacy rules, but it'll tell you that, hey, this person in your database actually is potentially looking like a potential seller or a buyer. And this is, you know, and they don't tell you why, but it's things that you're buying or things that you've maybe done a soft pull on your credit for, you know, for a refi or whatever. And so a lot of the technology that's out there too. And I'm not telling you anything that you probably don't experience anyway. People sit around the dinner table and talk about a solo stove, and all of a sudden the solo stove ad pops up in front of us. That's by design, guys. And the same thing happens with real estate now. They're getting so smart where when you're searching for homes and all of a sudden, boop, you're on another website and you're, city council, you're checking stuff out, and all of a sudden, boop, an advertisement comes up. And that's exactly what they're talking about. That's how they do all that.
It's craziness.
Maybe it's good. I don't know.
Yeah. When you're sitting around talking about buying a new water heater and all of a sudden it shows up on your Facebook, that's horrible. I mean,
Makes it easy.
Listening. They're listening.
Makes it easy. Oh, they're totally listening.
Ooh.
Hey, Rooney.
Oh.
You have the ability. They do have on these phones. I don't know if you've noticed this. They have these power buttons right here. And when you're done for the day, you can power down.
Oh, wow. I'm going to check that out.
Like when you're in the mall and you're walking and your phone just keeps ringing out loud, that same button, you can mute your ringer too.
I had a real estate call at 10:15 last night. Just saying.
I would have slept through that one.
Another one at 7:15 this morning. So, yeah. I can't.
My guys start calling me at 5. Yeah, they know I'm up early.
Yeah, I know. This one does too. So, all right, what do we got? Agent MD. Give us that little thing again, Nick.
Sorry.
Look at that. Where is that? Oh, there we go. It's the doctors. We're here, Andy. And one thing we're going to talk about today is what we have been talking a lot about is realtors and agents and what stands in your way. And it's to me.
Smarter.
Can you see that, Andy? What stands in your way? And to me, it's a mindset. It's your mindset is the one thing that stops you from doing what you are able to do. And, you're sabotaging yourself most of the time versus not being able to do business. And I think it's a bad thing. And you can get in that rut. I don't know if this happens with you, Andy, but I always have it. If something goes wrong, and thank God this is not super often, but they stack on top of each other really quick. And it typically becomes because you're maybe down or you just got that like, oh, geez, here we go again. Then, oh, geez, are you kidding me? Oh, no, and that's a total mindset. And there's a lot of ways, I think, in which to get around that. Number one, just don't let it in. It's a thing that actually the little boy in Brazil taught me, and it was manifestation and just taking time in which to be able to relax. And before, like, you go into a big listing, you can say, or any listing for that matter, but you can just kind of use different words. And I think that's a good thing for Nick to kind of throw out here is just different ways in which to be able to do it. I always saw from him I don't even know when it was, but Nick, when was it? Maybe when did you start writing in the book? Your gibberish.
Like when I was 19.
Yeah. Was it 19? I thought it was in high school. But anyways, he'll write it down. So give us some examples, Nick.
Okay. I think everyone has problems with that inner voice, especially when it's a critic. And for you to just be conscious of it and then try to switch it. For example, like when I go to practice, I say, I will have an amazing practice. I will have an amazing practice. And I say that 15 times. And I say a couple other different ones just to kind of get you in the flow, get your head moving in the right directions. They say the thoughts become, the words, and the words become the actions, etc. But no, every day I think it's great when you're in that like theta type mindset where you're conscious and unconscious to start writing in a journal. And I do it 15 times, like 25 different ones. And so like that's just like what my brain is like programmed to do in the morning. And I definitely think it's worked. A lot of what I've written has came true. But you were saying before you go into listings, like you're just trying to kind of get your brain right. Is that what you do, Chris?
Yeah, I'll say stuff like that. I'm the top agent and I'm the best agent for this client. Something basically around that realm, and I'll just kind of keep saying it. And it does. It changes your mindset when you go in because it's confidence. And when you have confidence, no matter how long you've been in it, Andy, 20 some 25 years, whatever it is, and you've sold a whole bunch of houses, but I mean, you still need to be kind of on the top of your game. And I think sometimes just throwing that out there right before you go in, it just kind of gets you right back into it. And then having the knowledge and knowing what you're selling and knowing more than what the seller knows or a buyer knows. Because a lot of times the agents don't. I mean, who knows their neighborhood better, you or me as the agent or the person that's living in that neighborhood? Well, they probably know it better. So I better know some other things on top of what they already know, or at least know what they know. So I know that, I mean, I was just doing a market analysis on a house in Edina. And I went on the MLS and I'm like, oh man, there's hasn't much that sold. Well, then I went on the map coordinates, and I always do this. I always go right down the line and see in the tax records when the last one sold. Three on that street in the last 6 months sold off market. Now, the seller would know that, but most agents would not know that unless they went that extra route. And basically, those extra sales, those 3 sales that nobody even knows about, was the basis of my market analysis to be able to, know that area as good or better. And there's 2 of those of the 3, 2 of them they didn't know about. And so that was kind of interesting.
I just play Thunderstruck in my truck before I go into a meeting, and it works out.
There's something about that too. Do you really?
I love it.
Yeah.
My thing is that I have to sometimes chill myself out a little bit because I come in kind of hot and this, that, and I'm all I literally have to go. So sometimes I actually have to slow down a little bit. I've realized that my treadmill runs at a different speed than most of the world. But 100%, everything that I say is based on facts, just like you're talking about, Chris. So when you rarely get that situation where you're like, oh my gosh, hey, when you pull up all your online profiles and you'll see this. When you pull up new construction costs, you're going to see this. But here's your history that we've seen in this area, which will be based on an appraisable number. And here's where, unfortunately, I think we're going to kind of lie. And that might be high or fortunate or unfortunate. But here's where the reality of it is. Now, you're the customer. You get to pick. Do we want to push the market a little bit? Or do you want to set it at market value, create event pricing? Let me promote the heck out of it, get you more people looking at it, get more offers coming in? Or how do you want to do this? Because if you overprice it, you're going to get 3 showings, and then we're going to have to reduce it. It's a lot of it's string that I like to use, and then I just I'm doing it.
Okay. Yeah, so I think that basically is a very good thing to be able to stay on top of things from an agent standpoint. Be positive. Positive is, I think, number 1, and Thunderstruck along with that. Right, Andy from Champlin?
Why do we not have that as our theme
Well,
song?
they said I could have 30 seconds on the show for a quick ad. Andy Praske, Remax Advantage Plus, Andy at Praske.com if you want to email us. Here's the thing, 22 years in the business, over 1,400 sales. I'd like to help you with your real estate needs. If that's buying, if that's selling, if that's building, whatever it is, give us a call, send us an email. Let's get you started on your real estate journey. I'd like to help you on the way. Lots of experience here, and I would like to put it to work for you. Andy Praske, Remax Advantage Plus. Thanks for listening to the show.
I love that car. All right, Geraldine Taylor, 94, lost her 1-bedroom condo.
I can do that, man.
What's that?
Sorry.
Okay. All right. So old Geraldine, she lost her 1-bedroom condo in Minneapolis, over $2,300 in unpaid taxes with interest and penalties. Hennepin County then sold the apartment for $40,000 and kept every penny. Her lawyers say the county violated constitutional protections against having property taken without just compensation and excessive fines. Supreme Court, which hears the argument Wednesday, will decide. So Minnesota is one among roughly a dozen states and the District of Columbia that allowed local jurisdictions to keep the excess money. And then at least 8,950 homes were sold because of unpaid taxes. And the former owners received little or nothing in those states between 2014 and 2021. Pay your taxes.
Do I sound better to you guys?
Yes.
I unplugged, and so I didn't hear anything you said, but I'm sure it was fantastic.
Well, I was just reading that article, and I'm just basically saying that, they're saying Minnesota and a dozen other states take money from people if they haven't paid their taxes. Now, keep in mind, taxes, I think tax forfeiture is over 5 years. So you haven't been paying for quite a long time. And you've probably gotten 700 notices up until that time. You've probably gotten 50 people that are willing to come in and purchase your house so they could go pay off the tax lien for you and get you extra money. And so just to ignore it, and who knows if she ignored it. I mean, bless her, she's 94 years old. I mean, she probably didn't know, maybe didn't even open her mail. I mean, you can see how that can happen, but I think to change the whole state and everything, and for one person that, wasn't able to do it, I mean, that to me just is crazy. So, but pay your taxes. You don't have tax forfeiture. Some people don't even know they have the property. They don't even know, and so they gets taken away. I mean, what's the state supposed to do? I'm actually sticking up for them. I can't believe it. But what are they supposed to do?
Show your walls T-shirt real quick.
Yeah. So, but it's just I don't know. I mean, what do you have? Any comments over there, Andy?
Here's the deal. You signed up for taxes when you signed up, when you bought the property, you agreed to it. You understand it. Everybody pays taxes. Basically, like my old grandpa used to say, even if you pay cash for something, you're still going to be paying the taxes. So you always have expenses related to owning things. And so that's forever, guys. And so when you buy something, understand that, hey, I'm going to buy this beautiful lake home, but it has $25,000 a year in lake taxes on there. Well, guess what? That isn't going to go down. It never goes down. It's going to stay there, and it's only going to go up. So you just need to really be smart about, especially if you're older. And, I didn't hear what kind of a condo she had or whatever, but you also, just like payments, if you owe a mortgage, just because they can't find you doesn't mean you don't owe her on the mortgage. You know what I mean? Or you move and decide, oh, hey, I'll hide. You know that you owe that mortgage payment. You know that you owe those taxes. You know that you owe the association, their association fees. And so by acting like you don't have to pay it is crazy to me.
And there's penalties and interest that I might, fight over, because some of that stuff's crazy. But I've also known people that have had tax liens against them, against their property for a couple $100,000 and have settled for $5 to $10 grand.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those things that, I mean, you just got to pay attention within that 5 years before they try to take it away from you. And I just don't think that, you gotta, if you're responsible enough to own something, you got to know that you've probably been paying taxes for a long time.
I laugh because my mother-in-law, she's down in Florida, and she says, well, she goes, I guess I could come back and start mowing grass and paying taxes again.
Yeah.
That's all she does.
Yeah.
Mow grass and pay taxes.
What? Oh, she doesn't pay taxes in Florida?
Oh yeah, but not much.
Okay. She pays.
Just got to stay there, Chris.
Federal.
A little over 6 months, I think, and then you're technically a Floridian.
6 months in a day. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Then you have a whole different tax rate.
Here's a new home for you, Andy. I know exactly where this home is. This is right across from. It's a cool looking house, and it's on acreage. I know that, but
That's the old Canton estate, isn't it?
It sits across from. No, this is. I don't know, but it's right across from the Lafayette, the club.
Oh.
It's nice. Yeah, Bones. Yeah. What is it? 11 million.
Wow.
11 million. But I mean, 3.8. Is it? How many acres? Is it 3, 4 acres? Look at that. At the end.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I think that was.
Doesn't that look at that big island or whatever?
It looks at the Lafayette Club, like where the Lafayette is, and it's close to Fletcher's. It's kind of in the.
Gotcha.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I know. I've seen this house on the lake, so
that's very cool.
But yeah, real fun. That. I mean, is that like what you'd find on the East Coast or what?
Yes.
Kitty Bunkport. I love that name.
Fun.
Yeah, that's really cool. Really fun. I mean, that's.
Ooh, I'd be curious who owned that property.
I'm not sure.
Hmm.
I don't know.
That's where I go down. You ever talk about going to a rabbit hole? My God, you start going around the lake and clicking on like on the county records, and I'm doing my research or whatever. And all of a sudden, you start click. I was like, oh my God, that's professional athlete, whoever, you know.
Yeah. And then some people have never even heard of it. They're like, family money or just
Stockbroker or whatever.
Own 17 Cane's chicken stores.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's how we'd like to make our money, chicken stores.
Yeah. Nick, what was that address? I'm gonna find Andy. I'm gonna find his the owner of this place. Do I have to look? No, we don't know where. No, I'm not getting the address.
I'm guessing a female walked by his room.
Yeah, no, I think he's awake. Let's see. Maybe
No.
he won't give me an ad. Oh, there it is. 1655. All right, we're gonna get this for you, Andy.
Thank you.
1655.
You want to play Thunderstruck while you're Googling?
Drum roll, please. And the owner is. Oh, I know this name. Otten. How do we know that name?
Otten Brothers, maybe the nursery.
No, it's I know his daughter, the fitness. They own a bunch of the fitness ones. 24/7 they own a bunch of fitness centers.
Oh,
really? Okay.
nice.
Yeah, I had class with her. I think that's the Bottom family. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. All right.
Very cool.
Nice place. Nice place.
A lot of money in treadmills. A lot of money.
Yeah. All right. What are we doing? What's next? Andy, the home next to your lot on Pilgrim's Point is featured on the Viking Land Parade of Homes.
Actually, there's two of them, Greg. There's one on each side of me. So I'll be out there selling lemonade all weekend.
Do you still have your camper on there? Or your tent?
No, they the police came in and took it. I was shirtless. There's a good video online about it. And running around on my dirt bike. Woo! No,
so these are new homes.
We don't have.
They got their own parade of homes up there.
Well, they have 6 houses.
Okay.
Yeah. They try
What's
to
the
show
price
you.
point? What's the price point up there? I want to know what Andy spends.
It starts at about $350 a square foot, is what I would say.
Okay.
It's unreal. The prices. I used to think small town you'll have very affordable pricing. It's the opposite. It's almost twice the price per square foot that we can build for in the cities.
Wow.
Facts. Yeah. You'll go up there and you'll look at houses where you're like, oh, this has to be a $500,000 house and it's $1 million. It's crazy.
Not good. All right. You're on mute again, Nick, I think.
Yeah, I think that wraps up our show today, but it sounds like the coming shows we're going to have some more guests finally.
I don't know. If someone wants to talk with us, they certainly
Nick,
can.
we've explained to you. Nobody wants to talk to us.
Nobody wants to talk with us.
Affiliate with us.
You don't
we clear this with legal?
You gotta get people to listen first, Andy. That's number one.
I believe people listen.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Uh-huh.
Every once in a while, I hear someone makes fun of me.
8 o'clock in the, or they're busy getting ready for work or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I get it.
Awesome. All right. Well, hopefully, look for some changes. It's coming. Just like Deion Sanders, it's coming. We're coming.
Hey, everyone else, make sure you click on our link tree. Got all our websites, every different platform we're on. If you leave us a review on iTunes or Spotify, subscribe to the YouTube, and send in any of your questions. So have a great day, guys. And
you too, bud. Bye.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Real Estate Radio Hour. Don't forget to visit our website, realestateradiohour.com, where you can subscribe to the show on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, or your preferred podcast listening app. If you enjoyed today's episode, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes or sharing us with a friend. Until next time, stay awesome, Twin Cities.